Hey fellow readers, I'm Jamie. Welcome to my channel, Books and Beyond. Today I wanted to talk about some of my most recent reads. So let's dive right on in. One of the first books that I've read is The Last Letter from Your Lover by Jojo Moyes. This book I read for my local book club, the Novel Bunch. It's just maybe 10 or 12 ladies who get together every month and drink wine and read. It's a lot of fun. We're all in different stages of our lives. Some of us are married, some are single, some have children, but we all get along and we have a great time together. This year we're doing book to movie adaptations. Our pick for June was The Last Letter from Your Lover. I have mixed feelings about this book. I really enjoyed the first part of the book. It follows a woman in the 1960s who was in a car crash, so she has some memory issues. She's not able to remember exactly who she is, what her life is like. She just knows that she is well off, she's married, and that's pretty much it. She has to kind of rediscover her life. So when she goes home after being released from the hospital, she realizes that she's not exactly happy in her home. Her husband kind of gives her some weird vibes. She starts looking around the house trying to connect the pieces, and she ends up finding these letters that are from a secret lover. He's written multiple letters begging her to leave her husband. He writes with such poetry and such obvious love for her, but she doesn't know who he is and he doesn't sign his name. He only signs it with a B. So she has no idea who she is anyways. So she can't figure out who's writing these letters to her. So she's kind of trying to piece together who in her life could be the mysterious bee, and if she was having this romantic affair with someone that was not her husband. But then the narration shifts. It shifts to present day with a journalist who is having her own affair, and she ends up finding these letters. So she's trying to figure out what happened to these two people. Did they end up together? Did they never find each other? Did the wife stay with her husband? I was really loving the first half of this book. The narration shift kind of got me. I'm not against narration shifts. I just thought that this one wasn't necessarily the best book I've ever read with a narration shift. So if you like that kind of writing, I highly recommend it. It will have you turning each and every page. For me, it just wasn't exactly what I wanted. I was just enjoying the woman's narration so much that it kind of took me out of the enjoyment of reading the second half of the book. Another of my recent reads is Provence to Die For, one of the books from the Murder, She Wrote series, which I totally fangirled over in my first video. If you don't already know, Murder, She Wrote follows Jessica Fletcher, a retired English teacher who now writes mystery novels and solves crimes on the side. This one specifically follows Jessica to France. She's decided that she needs a break, she needs to relax, so she's going to the countryside in France, in Avignon. And she's staying there for a couple of months. She's gonna take some French cooking classes, but things go awry when the chef is mysteriously murdered. Of course, Jessica is on the case. She has to do some digging. She can't help herself. She can't relax until she has solved this case. It's a palate cleanser. It's just fun. I highly recommend these books. They're cozy mysteries. They just have a great atmosphere to them, and there's about 50 of them in publication right now, and I think they're writing more. So if you want to enjoy a fun little mystery, I highly recommend the Murder, She Wrote series, and this one was a lot of fun. Another book I have recently read is The Breakup Book Club by Wendy Wax. This is just a fun summer read. This follows some women who are in a book club. They're all in different stages of their lives. Some are going through divorces, some have kids, some are just dating, some are still trying to figure it out, and it's just one of those feel-good summer vibe books. It tackles a few kind of really deeper subjects, but it does it in a way that It's lighthearted. It's just so much fun following all these different women and their stories. This one follows maybe 5 or 6 women, and it does have narration shift. It changes perspective from woman to woman, but this one does it so well. It seamlessly weaves each story together, and none of the characters are less interesting than the other. They're each equally fun to read. So if you're just looking for a fun book about books that you want to read for a good summer day, this is a good read. This is perfect for one of those days. Another book that I have recently read is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This one is a little difficult for me to talk about because I personally did not enjoy it like the rest of BookTube did. I think I waited a little too long to read it because the hype has never really settled. So for me, it just didn't hit the way others have said it hit. I very much enjoyed all of the conversations, some of the subjects that it tackled, but the story and the pace was a little bit off for me. And I honestly feel like if I had read this in high school, when I was in high school, I think it would have been a favorite book of mine, but I didn't time my reading well. I'm not in high school anymore, and I waited too long after the hype. I can understand other people's love for this book. I can commend it on how it handled certain issues, a lot of LGBTQ plus issues and realistic events that I'm sure a lot of people go through. I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it. I was a little bit disappointed. I think it was more me than the book. I know that sounds cliche, but that's kind of what it was. And the last book that I picked up was The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I've always wanted to read this book. I was a little scared to pick up this book. I've been avoiding it for many, many years. I knew it was going to be a little bit depressing. I sort of expected it to be a little harder to read than it was. I was pleasantly surprised that I was easily able to understand the thought process behind everything. Some of it, which is kind of scary, was quite relatable for me. However, this is a book that I cannot sever the relationship between the author and the book. It's so intrinsically tied to Sylvia Plath and her own life story. It is semi-autobiographical. It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart to look at this woman's life who was so obviously in need of help, but lived in an era that wasn't necessarily capable of handling her mental illness. We should all give thanks for the time that we're living in because we are a little bit more progressive in how we understand mental illness and how we're able to treat mental illness. But for Sylvia, it's a very sad story because it did not end well for her. And this was a little bit difficult for me, and it just wasn't enjoyable for me to read. I am happy that I have finally read it. I understand. I can now talk to people about the plot, about the story, about the character, but unfortunately, it's not one of my favorite classics that I've ever read. And those are all the books that I have recently read. For one of the books that I hope to get to in the next week or so is Still Life by Penny Louise. This is a mystery series that my friend has highly recommended to me. She really loves this series and we're kind of doing a buddy read on it. I have read this one, but I will say I don't remember anything about it, so I'm gonna go back and read it before I read the others. I am planning to do a reading vlog with this book, so keep an eye out for my next video and my thoughts on I am planning to do a reading vlog with this book, so keep an eye out for my next video. I can't wait to get started on that and to kind of delve into the vlogger style. But yeah, that's pretty much it. By the time you've seen this, 4th of July has already passed, so to all of my American friends, happy Independence Day. To everyone else, Hey, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe. If you have read any of these books, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on those. Tell me about any of your most recent reads. I would love to hear what you've recently picked up, your thoughts on those books. If you have any recommendations on the books that you've recently read, I'd love to hear. Once again, thank you so much for watching my video, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!